All right, so this war bans our Ghost, S99, and Scorp. All right, so Magneto Boss. You can leave Hazard Shift up and use Absorbing Man with Immortal Abomination synergy, or you can use Sim Supreme, or even Rintraw and Wiccan will most likely work. Mephisto back there, Blade, or Void, sorry. Absorbing Man, you got Quicksilver, you have Immortal Abomination. Chavez, you can go with Doom. You could probably even go with Warlock or an Armor Burn champ with low debuffs and slap on a White Magneto pre-fight. Korg, Diablo can work. I'd probably think you're gonna have to go Apocalypse or Omega Red there and just deal with the power gain. Sauron, Nimrod will work, but Omega Sentinel and tracking debuff probably the best bet. Future Ant-Man, Hulkling, or Valkyrie. And then Gore, Wiccan, or Rintraw. 1 through 3 on the way out. Toad, either Warlock or Omega Sentinel. Path 1, Nova, you can use Carl, you can use Doom. And then for Penny, you've got Gallon. Could even get away with another buff immune like Titania. Path 2, Wong, Titania, or Cassie, or Ant-Man. And then for Domino, Omega Sentinel or Nimrod. And then Jessica Jones, Easy Valkyrie, or Jabari Panther. 4 through 6 on the way out, Sasquatch. You got Titania and Mr. Negative on the way in. Mole Man. You could use Omega Sentinel since she is Nullify Immune. Can also use Civil Warrior if you want to go that route and use the Armor Burn. Just slap a White Magneto pre-fight down. Path 4, Havoc, you have Doc Ock and Warlock. And then for Null, you have Absorbing Man and Doom. Path 5, Annihilus, easy Absorbing Man, can also use Doom. Mojo, you've got Mr. Negative, or Titania can also use Diablo with the passive Poison synergy. And then Path 6, Bishop, easiest is Infamous Doom. The other option, you could nuke it down with CGR. And then Quicksilver, you could nuke him down with CGR as well. Or you can go with Fury or Mole Man. 7 through 9 on the way out, Hulkling, you have Rintraw and Wiccan, Absorbing Man as well. On the way in, Long Shot, you can go with Absorbing Man, you can go with Ant-Man. I just wouldn't place debuffs, I would just spam Special 2 with Ant-Man and take advantage of the buff immunity and then being immune to shock. Path 7, Arcus, you have Apocalypse, you have Colossus, you have Shang-Chi, you have any of the Mystic options, really. And then Shuri, Hulkling will work, Proxima will work, so would Shang-Chi, actually. And then Path 8, Professor X, Omega Sentinel, or Nimrod, and then Spidey Supreme, Titania, or Cassie, or Ant-Man. And then Path 9, Doom, you can take with Ant-Man or Thing. And then Jubilee, you can get away with Absorbing Man. Can also use Nimrod or Warlock with an Odin Shock pre-fight. 1 through 3 in Section 2 on the way in, Infamous Doom, Gallon or Hulkling, Kingpin, Colossus or Apocalypse, maybe even Absorbing Man since he'll get pushed to Special 2 a lot. And then Zemo, Colossus, I think I've seen future Ant-Man do that. 1 through 3 in Section 1 on the way out, Man-Thing, you have Titania or you have Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative won't have the issues with power gain. Could also use Omega Red. Path 1, Rintraw, you have Archangel. Can also use any of the usual science options. Path 2, Mordo, you've got Doom, you can use Titania. And then Killmonger, you have CGR. You also have Absorbing Man, so some way to just reflect. You could even use Namor. And then Path 3, Spot, you have Shang-Chi, you have Fury, you have Mole Man, you have a lot of options for Spot there. 4 through 6 on the way out, Storm. Best bet is Omega Sentinel. Can probably use Colossus as well. Just slap an Odin pre-fight, or not an Odin pre-fight, a Magneto pre-fight there. Path 4, any of your skill options also will do. Shang-Chi will do. Fury can even work. And then Path 5, Kitty Pryde, Omega Sentinel, or Nimrod, Maw, Mr. Negative, or Titania. Dragon Man, any of the science options. Buff immunity if you want to. So Cassie, Ant-Man, Titania. 7 through 9 on the way out, Fury, you have Apocalypse, you have Colossus, you have CGR. And then Path 7, Atuma on that node can get interesting. I'm sure you can get away with Colossus, can probably get away with Omega Red as well. And then, but slap on, again, a White Magneto pre-fight. And then Terrax, get away with Namor or Absorbing Man. And then Path 8, Gallon, you've got Blade, you've got any of the Mystics, Rintrah, Wiccan, and then, or Tigra. And then Path 9 can take the whole thing with CGR. You could technically take the whole thing with Shang-Chi, or you could bring that Nimrod or Warlock or Omega Sentinel for Apocalypse. So that does it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so this war we're going up against DSVG. Today I am taking in Hulkling, Shang-Chi, and Magneto House of X. I've got Path 4 in Section 1, and I'm sharing Path 7 in Section 2. So a very light war for me this war. I actually realized during the only Hulkling fight that I could have done it with Shang-Chi, and then maybe could have brought Omega Sentinel and taken 2 extra fights. Anyways, Path 4 here starts off with Thing. Shang-Chi is a counter in the fact that he doesn't have to worry about Unstoppable. He gains the Fury from the node. So we have a lot of benefits going here. The only problem is Shang-Chi hits really hard. So protection is up most of the time. And I didn't actually put on the orange attack boost. I mean, mentally it's so that I don't trigger protection as often as I will, but because of the Fury from the node, the 30% boost, Shang-Chi's going to trigger protection a lot, and I can't really get around that. Even with the node, there's an increased defensive ability accuracy, so things like Pacify wouldn't exactly help. So a mastery change wouldn't matter too much here. So in theory, you could have gone orange and just like gotten the extra damage there and done a little bit more when protection was up. But anyways, the game plan here was to keep slow active the entire fight, go with the cleanse Wushu, and actually avoid the stun Wushu unless he's being really passive, and go with a heavy reset and then just throw special 2s constantly. I think actually, and I've done this in the past, I've done this fight, at least Thing on Path 4 in Section 1 before. The smarter thing that should have happened was while I have a Fury up, push myself to special 3, wait for his protection to fall, and then just drop the special 3, because then the protection won't kick in until after the special 3. But this is just so chill. The reason I don't throw the stun Wushu in between is because it'll eat up the slow timer, slow debuff. And I'd rather quickly get to the next slow debuff so that I don't have to worry about keeping it up constantly, or even having a time where there isn't a slow. I believe there was one point in this fight, Thing was a little bit passive, and I thought I was actually going to lose a slow, and I realized I had to get 2 hits in, and it wasn't going to work out with his rock stacks. But he finally threw the special attack, and we had time. So I believe it's right here. Yeah, looks like it's about to be right here. Here's where I was like, I don't know, and then he threw that, and we're like, oh, okay, we're kind of good. Yeah. But yeah, this is the fight. You're just punching Thing around. His protection keeps coming back. You see here we're getting close to halfway on the timer, but he's got a small percentage left. And it's just protection after protection. Not a bad matchup at all. And I'm very comfortable here, and this special 2 will end it. So yeah, pretty easy fight for Shang-Chi. Then we move on. Spam is the second fight on this node. I didn't originally There was a time I took him in on 4B and I died. And it was originally because I was going for that whole build to special 2, try and KO him, but it really relied on whether or not he was going to throw special 1s. So here I go in with the intention of throwing special 2 and finishing the fight with the Fury. But his first special 1, he doesn't throw right away. And I decide that I'm just going to go with special 1s. And it's really safe with special 1s after activating the Cleanse Wushu. Obviously, there's not a worry here. There's not an unblockable spam issue with the node. Here it's Fury. But the same concept. If you're going to focus on special 1 and just building cleanse charges and just punching him down and never having a debuff on you, it's literally Cleanse Wushu, heavy reset to special 1, and then use special 1 and just constantly go through that cycle, and eventually he'll go away. And that's pretty much what ended up happening here. So easy fight. Spam a joke. Shouldn't get a kill on my Shang-Chi in the future. And then my last fight, so like I said, short war, is this Shuri here with Stand Your Ground. Now, I realized actually at this very moment that I could have done this with Shang-Chi. You do the Stun Wushu through block, you do the Cleanse Wushu just to build chi charges, and then you heavy reset because the stun will still be running. And you never have to worry about the fact that you can't parry or that her attacks are non-contact and that she could go untouchable throwing heavies as you bait out. The idea here with Hulkling is to go unblockable, but you need to go unblockable and land an attack before you throw the special 2, because if she is duped, she will block all of it. It still does a lot of damage through her block, but obviously not as much if you actually hit her. Plus she can retaliate afterwards. So pretty good start here. I tested in duels if I could reach her with my heavy, and you can in fact reach Shuri with Hulkling's heavy if she throws a heavy. And in testing, I found out that I had to be well away from special 2, but at special 1 when trying to bait out these heavies to heavy retaliate, because there will be times where I take block hits and she goes untouchable like there, and then I have to wait for the next heavy to actually retaliate. And if I was doing it right when I got special 2s in duels, I was actually getting pushed to special 3. And you can see here it worked out perfectly. We're going to go unblockable, or make sure we go unblockable here. So that's why I didn't go full combo into her block. It would have been 5 hits, and then I would have thrown an unblockable special 2, and it all would have gotten blocked. So I waited for the next combo into block where some of my hits would be unblockable, and then the special 2 would land. So that was it for my war. Pretty short war. So yeah, probably didn't even need Hulkling. Our battle group actually didn't do very well. They got a donut, so it was 0-3 for our BGs. And then DSVG actually ended up winning. They got 3 deaths to our 5. Even if we, as a BG, only died once and had a really good war, we still would have lost this on time. So DSVG just played really well. They put us in a spot where we needed 2 or less to win, and that just wasn't happening. But the positive here is that we bounced back into our ideal death range for the season. After the last 2 wars, this is a significant improvement with the same sort of bans. So we're headed in the right direction to start, at least, for the rest of the season, so that we can maybe finish in Masters. So hope you guys enjoyed the war video. Hit subscribe, give it a like, and I will catch you guys at the next war.